My name's Eep, and this is my family, the Croods. Oh, we've been in that cave forever.
3 days is not forever.
It is with this family. Mom, we're ready to leave.
Mom?
Still alive!
It's still early.
We never had the chance to explore the outside world because of my dad's one rule.
New is always bad. Never not be afraid.
But what we didn't know was that our world was about to change.
Get to the cave! Look out!
You really need to see this. We should go there.
No. Whoa! Go, go!
Where are we?
I'm not sure.
Dad?
I'll take care of this.
All right, Dad, go get him. Oh, man, they're really...
I'm loving this.
Great. Thanks for being with me, guys, and talking about DreamWorks' new film, The Croods. Now, that's got to come from someplace, that name.
Where does that name come
That name comes from, well, the original, when I first started working on it was with John Cleese in 2004, and it was Crude Awakenings was the name of the movie, and it was going to be a stop motion movie for Aardman, and the Crude was the name of the village. And everyone really loved the name. It kind of embodied the spirit of the family, and we named the family after the village.
Wow, and it takes a village to make an animated film like
That's
this. We were talking about like 380-some people worked on this
That's
film.
pretty much exactly right, yeah.
Oh my goodness, and it's taken you how many years? 8, 9 years?
Well,
to
in
produce
development of the script, but really in production about 3 years. It's about 3 years in production, on hard production, but script writing and development always takes a lot longer, especially with an original film that's all fantasy elements.
Wow. Now, you not only wrote the story, you guys, you also did the screenplay, and then you are the directors of it. I mean, this is really something when you must have seen it all come together, what it felt like.
Yeah, it's pretty astonishing, actually. It's one of those things, there are so many artists that work on these things that you have an authorship that you bring to it, but so much of it is really not your stuff. There's amazing animation, incredible effects, incredible camera work, and so you can actually, I think, legitimately heap praise upon it without shame, because I am truly humbled and astonished by the artistry that our crew brought to this movie.
I bet. So, do you have a favorite part? I mean, when you really sat back and you were able to watch the whole film once it was put together, did you have something that you just said, wow, this is really what Croods is all about?
Yeah. Well, for me, there's a part of the film where the Croods, who live their lives in a cave, and of course our story really kicks off when they lose that cave and they go on this road trip to find another one. They're out in the real world, and the one thing that Croods cannot survive is the night. So as the sun goes down, Grug puts them back in that cave. There's a scene in the film where the Croods see the night sky for the very first time, and it changes them. And I think that's probably my favorite moment in the film.
And I mean, I have to say I had a favorite too, is when everything was dark and then we're in the cave and then all of a sudden life began. It was like, okay, you know, we're entering Oz, you know, and you could really see the animation come to life.
Into the new
yes.
world.
Oh my gosh, and everything was moving and it was going. Tell me just a little bit about the process of the characters. I mean, those were amazing, and the creatures.
Yeah, you know, all the cavemen are they're like you're never going to see a caveman before, or you've never seen cavemen before. We custom built them to believably live in this incredibly rugged world that we've created. But I have to say that the voice cast, that was another huge aspect of this. I mean, probably the most important thing in the end, because that's where they really get their heartbeat. They live for the first time when you record their voices.
Yeah, and the creatures, I mean, the great thing about what we tried was so freeing that we said, you know, we're going to have this world, time between times, a world we're going to discover called the Cretaceous period. And once we freed ourselves of that the humans and their relationships were going to be grounded. They were going to be the ones we were going to be following. But the creatures were sort of evolutionary dead ends, mashups of creatures we know, animals we've seen today, and ones that we would hope, you know, every once in a while when you're following these things so long and people will be coming in and be like, hey, they dug up another fossil. It's a giant rabbit. And you're like, what? So we're like convinced that even if they haven't been found, maybe one day somebody will dig up the trip gerbil.
Yes, right. Well, one last question, guys. Tell me, how do you see the future of animators?
Oh my gosh, you know, when I first started in animation back at Disney, whenever we started developing an animated movie, they always asked this question at some point, like, well, why are we doing this in animation? What's the animated element? And we haven't heard that for 10 years now, because live action and animation, that line is so blurred now. So for animation, now it's all about just what story do you want to tell? Because you can do anything you want. In fact, one of our artist engineers that works in the film told us at the very beginning, he said, we can do anything, but we can't do everything. So you have to make certain choices at the beginning of this film, what you want this film to be, because we can build it, whatever you want.
Okay, Guy, now what?
I can help you. Come with me.
It's too far.
I'll never live long enough to get there.
Let's do it. Just think, our whole family packed together on a long trip across country.
We gotta move faster. I call them shoes.
So beautiful.
DreamWorks' The Croods.
What is that?
Fire. It's biting me!
Try hiding from it in the tall, dry grass.